So yesterday, with just 6 days to go before I reach the end of this video every day in April challenge, my smartphone died, leaving me unable to record the full episode. And this is exactly how I felt when I realised I couldn't make you a full episode. No point lying, I was fucking ecstatic.
The secret to happiness is finding something you love and then doing that for the rest of your life.
So a month ago, I bought a camera online. The camera was sent to the wrong address. As the insurance claim ensued, I received a phone call from someone called Tom. Tom is the guy who the camera was incorrectly sent to. And to his credit, he contacted me with my details being within the package and said, I've got your camera. He then drove to my house and safely delivered the camera. Please watch episode 20, yesterday's episode, to bring you fully up to speed. I asked you guys if you'd like me to arrange coffee with Tom in order to find out a little bit more about him, how his mind works, if he's generally an honest guy in every area of his life. We had a coffee yesterday, and I've not watched all the footage back yesterday because my phone is shit. So I'm going to go through it now, and let's just watch it together because he raised some exquisite points. Let's just go through some key bits from Tom and I meeting over coffee yesterday afternoon. By the way, for the record, I know I didn't pick the best location for this meeting. I should have gone for somewhere quieter, but if I'm 100% honest with you, like one thing I've learned through this Vader challenge, and I've discussed it many, many times, is I can chase perfection all day long, but after 25 days of this challenge, I just can't be arsed. I just went to the first place that there was. Deal with it. Take us through that day when you got a reasonably expensive camera and you thought, was there a moment when you thought eBay?
No, not the slightest. I thought, yeah, I've got right to open this because it's come to me, it's got my name on it. So I opened it and there's a camera in there. I'm thinking, what's going on here? And there was a form that had some person's details in. So I didn't look at that first. I just thought, let's have a look at the camera.
See if it's worth anything.
No, what I thought is, why would someone deliver a camera to a location that it doesn't belong to?
Correct.
And I thought, drugs.
Drugs?
Yeah. I thought there could be some heroin or cocaine or something
in the
like
camera.
That.
A Class A drugs being smuggled in cameras nowadays. I'm not convinced. How many megapixels has your camera got? Oh, I haven't got a fucking clue, mate, but right now I can see 7 of you.
That's not the mind of a criminal, by the way. It's just...
I mean, it sounds like one.
Honestly. I returned the camera.
I mean, I've got to admit, what you did is exactly what I do and have done in similar positions. And like, I don't know, let's get to know Tom. Have you always just been, I don't know, you know, the kind of, if you find shit, yeah, generally.
Yeah. If I can deliver it to the person it belongs to, then yeah. If it's a case of there's no way I could give this back to the person it belongs to, and if I give it to someone else, I can't trust their integrity. If it's that case, then I may have kept it. But if I can get it back to the person every single time, so yeah, if I find £2 on the floor, it's mine. So if I lost something, I think, yeah, I'd like it to be returned to me. It's not mine to take, it'd be theft. Sure. I don't believe in all 10 commandments, but there are about 3 on there that make sense.
Oh, okay, this is taking a different turn. Which 7 do you not agree with? Have you coveted your neighbour's wife?
Maybe not my neighbour.
So as the conversation progressed, I explained to Tom that I create a lot of content around my interest in engaging with strangers on the street or just in my everyday life, and I was curious as to whether or not Tom shares my interest.
No, very much so. I do enjoy interacting with people. It depends on what mood I'm in. If you catch me on a good day, I enjoy talking to random strangers, interacting.
Sure.
Enjoy it quite a lot. When I'm driving, I'll often try and catch the eyes of people driving, or it's a case of letting you in. It won't just be a case of I'll stop and let you in. Yeah. I'm actually looking for you to give me a little nod, and I'll give you a little nod. Because I realise that it's not just you in your car, it's actually a person there. And a lot of times with road rage, I think it's because people don't see the person, they see the car. So I see the person and not the car. Okay. That makes sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense.
But to counter that, and I guess this ties in well with the theme of being in cars, if I'm crossing a one-way road, I'm looking both ways because I don't trust humanity anymore.
Jesus, really? That's a huge call to say I don't trust humanity. What do you mean? You mean there's so many maniacs?
Because there'll be a tiny percentage there who don't abide by the rules and will go the wrong way up a one-way street.
Yeah.
If you ask me about that growing up, I'd be like, nah. But I do think that things have changed. I guess there's less of a sense of caring, less of a sense of community. People are more focused on the individual rather than the whole or the community.
You think?
I think so. Whereas, I think 10, 15 years ago, I'd only look one way and I wouldn't bat an eyelid. I think, nah, nobody in the right mind would go the wrong way. But nowadays, I think people would go the wrong way and they wouldn't think twice about breaking the law or the repercussions of doing it.
So this is where Tom and I started to get into the fibre of society, and I'm interested, what do you think about what Tom said? When you're crossing a one-way street, will you look both ways or just the way that the oncoming traffic is coming? I'm curious. And when he said things have changed, he wouldn't have looked both ways 10, 15 years ago. Does that make a difference, or have there always been crazy bastards on the road?
Well, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Say you lost your camera 100 times.
Okay.
How many Toms would there be returning it in 2018?
28, no, that's a really, wow.
What percentage would return it in 2018?
In the same circumstance, or just deliver 20? Okay, let me not add too much
and
to it.
if you watch it, comment below because it would be interesting.
That is, genuinely, that is an incredible question, mate.
I'm going to think about it. I've not thought about it, but...
I'm just going to put some music in between this bit while we ponder.
You think of a number, I'll think of a number.
And then we'll share.
Because this is about humanity.
I couldn't believe when Tom asked me this question, because I was like, yeah, this guy. I really wasn't expecting our meeting, coffee, to go down this route, but I'm so happy it is because it just kind of got me thinking about so many things. So what's your answer to that question? In the town or city you live, if you lost something of value, let's say £300 to £400, if you lost that 100 times and each one of those instances it had your contact details with it, how many times out of those 100 do you think the finder would return it to you? This was a question I fucking spent ages trying to figure this out, but my answer's coming up, completely different to Tom's answer, and we both live in the same place, Sheffield, UK, so let's have a look.
I'd say 33. I'm going...
Would return?
Yeah, 33 a return. A third would, 2/3 wouldn't in 2018. I could be totally wrong. That's why...
That's really sad. I'm thinking of more.
Thinking more, yeah?
Yeah. Same circumstances, I'm actually thinking closer towards like 2/3 to 70.
Would return?
Yeah.
Okay, so what about back in 1998, 20 years ago? And I'd say it'd be a 50-50 back in the day, 20 years ago.
Alright, T-Bird was going really deep on this. By this time, to me, he was T-Bird, right? He was going really deep in this, like taking it back 20 years, taking it back 40 years. I couldn't answer the question because I don't know if you've ever gathered, but I'm indecisive as hell. Like, I'm shit with shit like this. So I don't even think I answered this question, but you are welcome to post your answer underneath this video. So Tom and I, we must have been talking for about 30 to 45 minutes, and as is customary with me, I wanted him to have the final word, so I asked him to close with some final thoughts courtesy of T-Bird. Would you like to leave us with the closing thoughts from Tom about humanity and man?
Be nice to each other. It doesn't hurt. That's it, just be nice. Try and do one nice thing a day or do loads of nice things.
Suppose, retrospectively, Tom was always going to be that kind of guy who had such interesting thoughts and opinions and insights on humanity, because, you know, what he did was I don't want to put too fine a point on it, but it was a nice thing to do, and I like to think that the majority of people in a similar circumstance would have done exactly the same thing. So, I asked on social media yesterday evening the exact same question that Tom, T-Bird, just posed. If you lost something 100 times worth, say, £400 with your address and telephone number in it, how many times do you think it'd make its way back to you? So AJ from California, he says, I'm going to guess around 70%. Honestly, I have no idea, but I'm pretty sure I would try to return it. The millennial musician, Chris, who lives in Glasgow, I'd say about 50%, but I'm quite an optimistic person. Amber from Perth in Australia. That's a very hard question. I'm probably going to say around 50% would return it. And we have Bree, who lives in Colorado, US. I have no idea. Maybe 10%. I've got to admit, when I read Bree's estimate, I was thinking one of two things. Either Bree is very cynical, or she needs to move the fuck out of where she lives. What about you? Where do you live, and how many people do you think would return your item if you lost it 100 times with your contact details within? The question today is, society, does it suck? The